If you've ever heard a steady engine at daybreak, or you still remember the feel of a green Oliver under your hands, this video is for you. Today, we're counting down the 10 best Oliver tractors in history, from the early trailblazers before the war, to the hard-working legends of the 1960s. And here's the promise. Every tractor on this list gets better as we go, because number 1 isn't just famous. It's a true legend. Number 10, the Oliver 550. It earns its spot because it was the everyday utility tractor on so many American farms. Compact, steady, and built to work, without drama. The 550 wasn't trying to be the biggest machine on the place. It was the tractor you started first and parked last. The one that fit under low shed doors and still had enough grit to pull its share. Now picture a typical day. You're hauling a hay wagon, pulling a small blade to clean up the lane, carrying feed to the barn, or moving a load of firewood before supper. That's what the Oliver 550 was made for. Those in-between jobs. The ones that don't look heroic, but decide whether your day goes smooth or turns into a mess. It turned tight, backed up easy, and just felt right around gates, pins, and narrow barnyards. And what people remember most is how easy it was to live with. The controls were straightforward. It handled like a tractor should, not like a puzzle. When the weather turned cold, a good 550 would still answer the call. And when something did need attention, it was usually simple, not a week-long headache. And when a machine doesn't nickel and dime you with little breakdowns, you keep it. That's why so many 550s stayed on the farm for decades. Handed down, not traded off. Because it simply kept doing the job, season after season. Now, if the 550 is the hard-working caretaker of the farm, the next Oliver on our list is smaller, quicker on its feet, and, to many folks, surprisingly lovable. Number 9, the Oliver Super 55. A lot of American farms, especially smaller places, livestock operations, and family farms, needed a tractor that could do light work all day, slip into tight spaces, and still feel dependable. That's exactly where the Super 55 shines. Think about the kind of jobs that never make the magazine covers, but keep a farm running. Mowing grass, pulling a small wagon, dragging the driveway, moving feed, working around barns, sheds, and gates. On days like that, what you really want is a machine that listens. One that turns sharp, backs up easy, and stays steady when you're creeping along near fences or livestock. The Super 55 has that friendly, willing personality, like an old farm dog that knows the routine and stays out of trouble. What people remember most is how practical it was. The controls are simple. The tractor feels balanced. It's the kind of machine you can hand to a younger driver and say, "You'll be fine, just take it easy." And for older folks, it's a reminder of a time when tractors didn't need a manual the size of a phone book. You started it, you worked it, you maintained it, and it paid you back with years of service. That's why the Super 55 still gets so much affection today. It wasn't built for show. It was built to be useful, day after day, without asking for much in return. But don't let its size fool you, because the next tractor on our countdown takes us back to the moment Oliver began shaping an entire row crop era. Number 8, the Oliver 77. The Oliver 77 earns a place on this list because it represents the classic Fleetline era, a time when Oliver tractors didn't just work well, they looked the part, too. By the late 1940s, America was changing fast, and farms were changing right along with it. More acres, more work, and more pressure to get it done on time. A lot of folks were ready to move beyond older equipment, but they still needed something that made sense. Reliable, straightforward, and easy to keep running. The 77 showed up at the right moment. It gave farmers a solid row crop tractor that could handle real work, without feeling complicated or fragile. And there's a certain feel to tractors from that period. Steady, planted, and calm. People often describe the 77 as running solid, like it's settled into the ground, and not in a hurry to misbehave. That matters on long days, when the weather is closing in, and you need a machine that won't rattle your nerves. The 77 wasn't built for flash. It was built for trust, and the story behind it carries real emotion. A lot of these machines stayed in barns and sheds, long after newer tractors arrived, because they had earned respect. Now, if the 77 is the right and steady choice, the next tractor is a bigger step forward, and it's a name you'll hear again and again when folks talk about Oliver and six-cylinder power. Number 7. The Oliver 88. The Oliver 88 makes this countdown because it's one of the best-known six-cylinder rowcrop Olivers of its time. And for a lot of folks, it represents classic Oliver at its best. When people talk about that smooth, confident Oliver feel from the late 40s and early 50s, the 88 is usually part of the conversation. Here's why it mattered. The 88 was for farmers who wanted more power, but still needed a tractor that could stay nimble in the field. It fit that role. It was the kind of tractor you could hook to a plow or a heavy load and feel like it still had something in reserve. And then there's the sound. A good six-cylinder tractor has a certain steady tone, smooth, even, and strong. When an 88 is working, it doesn't sound strained. It sounds confident. That's the kind of thing older farmers remember. You can hear it from a distance and know the tractor is doing its job, not fighting for its life. What makes the 88 special is its balance. It wasn't just about pulling. It was about being useful across a range of jobs, field work, hauling, and those steady farm tasks that add up over a season. That balance is a big reason why the 88 feels so American farm in photos and memories. It's the tractor you picture in a wide field, with a clean horizon, doing honest work under an open sky. And then Oliver did something people still remember clearly. They took that winning formula and added one word that changed everything. They called it Super, and the tractor that followed would become a true legend. Number 6. The Oliver Super 88. The Super 88 earns its place because, for many farmers, it was one of the most desirable Olivers of the 1950s. Stronger, sharper looking, and built with that true super spirit. It wasn't just an update. It felt like Oliver took everything people already liked and turned the volume up. Now picture this. It's a cool morning. The dew is still on the grass, and you roll the Super 88 out of the shed. You hit the starter. That engine comes to life. And it's the kind of sound that makes a neighbor step out on the porch, just for a second look. That's what the Super 88 was. It didn't just do the job. It made you feel like you were doing the job with the right tool. And that mattered in the 1950s. Farming was moving forward. Acres were growing. Time was always tight. A tractor like the Super 88 wasn't simply equipment. It was a sign your operation was keeping up. What people remember most today is the feel of it. The Fleetline styling still turns heads. The Super name still carries weight. And for a lot of folks watching this, especially those who grew up around these machines, the Super 88 brings back that golden era of farming, when tractors were simple enough to understand, yet strong enough to earn respect. But here's the thing. As impressive as the Super tractors are, they're still only part of the story, because the next tractor on our countdown is the Foundation, an Oliver that helped build the company's reputation early on, back when the stakes were high and the work was hard. Number 5. The Oliver 70. The Oliver 70 is on this list because it was a true trailblazer, one of the tractors that helped carry American farms into mechanization. Before and after World War II, it may not have been the biggest or the flashiest, but it showed up when it mattered most. And sometimes, that's what makes a machine great. The late 1930s were not easy years. Money was tight, equipment had to last, and a farmer needed a tractor that could be trusted more than talked about. Then the war years came, and everything, from parts to labor, got harder to come by. In a season like that, the best tractor wasn't the one with the most bragging rights. It was the one that started, worked, and kept going. The Oliver 70 was that kind of tractor. You can almost picture it. An older barn, a simple tool rack, and a farmer who knows every sound his machine makes. The 70 didn't need fancy features to earn respect. It earned it by being steady, by pulling a plow in the spring, hauling in the summer, and helping get a crop in before the weather turned. It was the kind of tractor a dad might teach a son on, because it was predictable, honest, and built with common sense. And that's why the Oliver 70 still carries so much weight in Oliver history. By the time you reach the late 1940s, you can see the foundation Oliver helped lay. Strong, practical machines that farmers could build a life around. And once that foundation was in place, Oliver started turning out tractors that were just right for almost everything. Up next is a model many folks call the perfect balance of size, strength, and everyday usefulness. Number 4. The Oliver 880. The Oliver 880 lands this high on the list because it's the kind of row crop tractor farmers love most. Right in the middle, not too small to be frustrating, and not so big that it feels wasteful. For a lot of farmers, the 880 was the machine you could run all week and hardly think about. You'd hook it to whatever needed doing. Pulling a plow, working the field, hauling wagons, running chores, and it would simply settle into the routine. It worked in a steady rhythm, almost like a good clock on the wall. Dependable, consistent, always there when the day starts. That's what made the 880 so valuable in the late 1950s into the early 1960s. It was a transition period. Farms were growing, but many were still family-run and practical. People needed a tractor that could handle real field work, yet still stay manageable for everyday tasks. And the 880 fit a wide range of operations. That's why it often became the main tractor, the one that carried the most hours, the most responsibility, and the most trust. And the 880 has that classic Oliver presence, too. When you see one in an old photo, you can almost feel the season. Spring soil, summer dust, fall stubble. The Oliver 880 is a do-it-all tractor in the best sense of the word. Strong enough to be useful, sensible enough to be practical, and steady enough to depend on. But if the 880 is the dependable work lead, the next tractor steps into the 1960s with something farmers always enjoy. More versions, more stories, and a clear evolution you can follow year by year. Number 3. The Oliver 1900. The Oliver 1900 earns this spot because it moved Oliver into a stronger class of tractor, and it gives us something viewers love in a top list. A machine with multiple versions, and a clear story over time. In the early 1960s, farms were pushing for more acres and more output. When a tractor had to pull harder, run longer, and keep up with bigger equipment, good enough wasn't enough anymore. The 1900 was part of Oliver's answer to that pressure. It was built to feel like a serious step forward. More muscle, more presence, and more confidence in the field. But what makes the 1900 really interesting is how people talk about it. You'll hear it at shows, in barnyards, and online. The A was good, but the B fixed this. And the C had that. Those small differences, A, B, and C, turn into real conversations because they came from real farm experience. Farmers notice what works, what doesn't, and what got improved. And once you've lived with a tractor, you remember the details. That's why the 1900 has such strong story value. You can build a whole segment around how it evolved, and it never feels like boring history. Add in the fact that the 1900 has real pulling power and a strong collector following, and you've got a tractor that stays relevant long after its production years. But even with all that, the next machine on our countdown is the heavy contender, the one many folks trust as a lifetime partner on the farm. Number 2. The Oliver 1650. The Oliver 1650 sits at number 2 because many farmers see it as the sweet spot of the 50 series. Practical, versatile, and simply pleasant to run. It wasn't built to impress you for 5 minutes. It was built to earn your trust for 5,000 hours. Picture the rhythm of a week. Field work when the weather is right. Hauling and feeding when it isn't. Chores that stack up, whether you're tired or not. And the 1650 fits all of it. It has the kind of balance that makes a tractor feel right. Not too heavy, not too light, and easy to handle around the farmyard. And when you're turning at the end of a row, backing into an implement, or easing through a gate, that smooth, controlled feel becomes worth more than a few extra horsepower. That's why the 1650 is so often mentioned as an Oliver you'd actually want to own. Not just restore, not just admire, but use. It represents the kind of engineering farmers respect. Simple enough to live with, strong enough to rely on, and built for the long haul. When people talk about a tractor being good, they usually mean power. But when they talk about a tractor being right, they mean confidence. The 1650 delivers that confidence. And yet, as strong as the 1650 is, it still isn't number one. Because if the 1650 is the sweet spot, then number one is the tractor many Oliver fans name with a firm voice. That's the peak. Number 1. The Oliver 1850. The 1850 takes the top spot because it's one of the most celebrated tractors Oliver ever built. And for many folks, it stands as the legendary workhorse of the 1960s. This is the model people bring up when they're not just talking about tractors on paper, but tractors that prove themselves in real fields, in real weather, under real pressure. The best way to understand the 1850 is to picture a busy season. The kind of season where the day starts before the coffee cools and ends when the sun is already low. You're racing the forecast, trying to get one more load, one more pass, one more field done before the next rain. In times like that, a tractor isn't a hobby. It's the backbone. And the 1850 earned its reputation by being that backbone, steady, strong, and ready to work again tomorrow. What makes the 1850 special is that it doesn't live only in brochures or collections. It lives in memories. It's the tractor a lot of families kept for decades, not because they couldn't replace it, but because they didn't want to. And when a machine stays on a farm long enough to be handed down, it stops being just equipment. It becomes part of the place, part of the routine, part of the story. People remember the 1850 as a tractor with real working strength, built for serious hours, built for serious jobs, and built with that Oliver feel that makes you trust it. It's not the kind of tractor you have to babysit. It's the kind you hitch up and lean on. That reputation, durability, pulling ability, and day-to-day reliability is exactly why the 1850 holds such a high place in the Oliver community. And here's the best part. Even though we crowned a number one today, every farmer has their own number one, depending on the land, the work, and the memories tied to it. And that's what makes Oliver tractors worth talking about in the first place. So there you have it, 10 Oliver tractors that carried farms through real seasons. From compact, everyday helpers, to those 1960s machines that still feel legendary. What makes Oliver worth remembering isn't just horsepower or specs. It's that feeling of trust. You turn the key, the engine settles in, and you know today's work is going to get done. Now I'd like to hear from you. If you ever ran an Oliver, or your family owned one, tell us in the comments which model you remember most. And why? Was it a job it handled? A memory from the field? Or simply the sound of that engine at daybreak? Thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.